Hello and welcome back to In Out Delete, the show where we review both new and older movies. This is Gino.
This is Roberto.
This is Ricardo.
America.
And Gio.
And here we are again at home another year. I guess I'm losing track of my days anymore. I don't even know what year it is. All I know is WandaVision. Sorry.
WandaVision. I love that show.
This recent episode blew my fucking mind again. Even though it was kind of slow, but I like the vibes. I like the vibes it was given.
The Office vibes.
Huh?
The Office vibes.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude,
I was thinking Modern Family.
It's a mixture of both.
Well,
like that staring to the camera.
That documentary style, right?
Yeah.
Hey, right now we were just like,
He was like, I don't remember, and I was like, me neither. Yeah. But yeah, it was both The Office and Modern Family, right? Yeah.
Like, did anybody watch it at midnight?
I did.
Yeah.
It
So
was I tried
so
to.
let me tell my story. Like, I was ready to go at midnight, right? I was like fucking watching the clock, right? As soon as that shit hit midnight, I was like, boom, Disney Plus. I'm at, because I watch on my Xbox, right? Click on the Xbox on Disney Plus, it pops up and it's just like circle. Nothing.
oh no,
Son of
'cause
a
everybody's
bitch.
watching it.
So I close it, turn it on and off again, start it again. Nothing. So I was like, fuck. I pull out my laptop, you know?
Yeah.
You know, go on DisneyPlus.com, you know, hit enter and nothing, just loading. It's like,
Wow.
son of a bitch, here we go. I had a feeling this is gonna come soon enough. I was like, my last resort is my phone. So I
Shut
pulled
up.
out my
You watched
phone.
it on your phone?
Let me tell the story. I pulled out my phone.
Yeah.
I click on Disney Plus. After a few clicks, it finally gets into the app. So it's like, I'm in, right?
Yeah.
So I navigate to WandaVision. It says new episode available now. Hell yeah. I click on that. It starts loading and then it gives the error code.
Wow.
Yeah. I keep clicking and then it starts playing. I was like, holy shit, it's playing. And then it's just error code. And finally,
Wow.
after a few times, it starts playing like legit.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to watch it on my phone, right?
Yeah.
I was able to cast it to my TV from my phone.
Oh.
Oh my god.
And that's I had to fucking plug in the charger because I was like at 1%, you know, because it was midnight. I plugged it in, I watched it. I didn't move. I didn't want to interfere with the internet signal, you know, because we're so fast. So I was like, watch the whole episode like this.
the antenna?
Yeah.
Dude, that sucks.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They broke the internet, man. Did it happen to you too, or what?
Yeah, it happened to me as well. Like I was like same thing. Like midnight, cool. Time to watch WandaVision. Like I put the Roku, like the was it the Disney Plus app on Roku, and then like it just stayed on the Disney Plus like kind of loading screen. It just stayed there. It didn't load anything. So like every time I kept trying to like boot out of it and go and keep going and going, and then I would turn off my TV. It took me about almost 20 to 30 minutes to get through.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
would've given up.
Like
Yeah,
it only took
something
me like
else.
4. Like by like 12:05,
No.
I was watching it. Yeah.
No, but I think it was already by 11:20. I think it finally let me get on.
Yeah, I was ready. Like, if my phone hadn't worked, I was gonna pull out my fucking AM radio and like dial. Fucking listen to the episode.
It's old
I
school.
was fucking ready.
Go
I
to
was ready.
Twitter
I had a
and-
list of fucking like devices to go to. You know.
Find a link
so
in Twitter or something for Reddit.
That's so funny because everyone I follow everywhere is like, oh, I stayed up, or like, you know, by the time I wake up in the morning, like everyone's already like, ooh, WandaVision. So, you know, not spoilery or anything, but they're just like, wow, WandaVision, you know? So like,
That's the
I
thing.
guess we're in a pandemic, like you can afford to lose a little bit of sleep because you just wake up and
Yeah.
straight to your
Yeah.
computer, right?
Yeah.
Damn, this is fun TV, man.
It really is. Yeah. I
We're
love
back
it.
in the days of like regular old broadcast.
Yeah.
That water cooler talk. I mean,
Yep.
hang
Yeah.
around. I just go along to the water cooler I have, just like.
You just go up
Get
to
a
the mirror. You're
fish.
like,
Go up
Get
to
a
it, yeah.
fish.
Oh, you got fish.
I'm gonna get you a fish.
I'm Star, short for Starbra.
Assume yours is Barbara.
Nope, just Barb. Plain old Barb.
I want to thank Barb and Star for hosting tonight's Talking Club and for making their hot dog soup. I like the salt.
I like the hot dog.
It's not as runny as it usually is.
What is she throwing? I hope she gives me bigger teeth. Love big teeth. She loves big teeth. Even if it's just 2 eyes on a bunch of teeth.
It would be so nice.
Look, my new phone case. I love it! It's like I'm listening to the ocean. Wait, we don't have cell phones. I know I'm gonna take it home and glue it to our landline. Hi! Hi! Hi!
We need a holiday.
Hi! I'm Barb, and this is Star.
Room number again, please, sir.
611.
6'11"? Oh my, Barb. Oh my gosh, he's 6'11". 6'11"? We're in 124.
Robert, what did we watch this week?
All right, so our new movie this week was Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar, and it's available on video on demand. It's directed by Josh Greenbaum and stars Kristen Wiig and Annie Momolo, and it's also written by them too. And the movie's about two lifelong best friends, Barb and Star, who embark on a vacation to Vista Del Mar in Florida, where they get tangled up in an evil villain's plan to kill everybody in town. Ooh. I don't know, man. Ricardo, start us off. What do you think of this?
I am an in. Yeah. The movie fucking was like, what the hell was I watching, right? So I was already like, okay, be dumb, you know? And then they started getting more dumb, and I was just like, like laughing out loud with America. America was enjoying it. I was enjoying it. I was just like laughing and thinking like, this is a good time. We need movies like this that are like silly as fuck to make us feel like okay, you know, like it's okay. And yeah, so the writing is not bad. I thought that the writing was actually kind of funny, you know. They're funny, those two girls. They wrote Bridesmaids, right?
Yeah,
so they're really good, and the story was ridiculous and everything was ridiculous, but I couldn't stop laughing. So I really enjoyed my time. And yeah, so what you think, Gio?
Yeah, it's dumb, over the top. I think it was funny enough. I don't know if it's funny enough to give it a complete in. Like, it's really on that fence. I might give it an out, but it's a watchable movie, but I don't think it was that on a pedestal kind of level.
It's not gonna win an Oscar.
No. I don't even think it'd win a Razzie, which is kind of good. Like, it wasn't that bad. Like, it's entertaining, it's funny. Like, it did have me laughing. Like, it's enjoyable, but like, I don't know if it was enough for an in. That's the thing.
Drum
So
roll.
And what is it?
No, I said, like, I think I'm gonna give it an out. Yeah, like, it's not bad. Like, it's entertaining. It's a good movie to watch if you're bored. But I don't know. Like, it wasn't that. I think it needed a little bit more extra to kind of get it past that line. What about you, Gino?
Wow, I actually really had to think this one, to be honest.
That's why, like, it's kind of like, it's okay, but like, I don't know if it's that good. It's good, but is it that good?
Right, I know, and that's what I'm like thinking, because you know what, I'm gonna go with it in, because I went in with the Ricardo mentality. I knew it was dumb. I had no expectations for it. I just went in raw, just dived into it, man. Fuck it. I don't even know what the fuck the movie was about. All I know is Barb and Mar go to Del Mar. I'm just like, all right, I'm there. Let's go to Del Mar. And I'm like, what the hell am I watching? But it's not. But I'm not hating it though. I'm like, okay. And you know what? I like the randomness. But Ricardo, I have to disagree with you. I think this movie shouldn't be like what we needed. It's more of like, it's there.
Oh,
it's not worth, to me, it's not worth $20. I will love to pass it off to someone if it's like, hey, it's on Amazon Prime for free, go for it, or it's on Hulu.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or if like DirecTV likes to be cool and go, hey, here's a free movie for the weekend, take this, and you know, and yeah, I'll watch it. Fuck it. But to pay $20 out of my wallet, I don't want my friends to be watching that like that.
Dang. Yeah,
I think that's why
I'm
in. I think that's why I'm in out.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is it worth the money?
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to watch, but not worth the $20. Maybe like the $2-3 mark, but not the full. You know.
Have you watched it with multiple people, right? And you split it off. You
know what?
Just Venmo me.
Or at least like have a party and do like a drinking game out of it, and or just get high and just watch it. That's what I recommend. Like,
Disclaimer: we're in a panini. Do not have parties.
Don't have hot dog soup. That's all I got.
Pangea.
Did you say hot dog soup?
That's what they made.
Remember the soup that they're eating?
Yeah.
Okay, then let's go with American next.
Yeah.
You can't remember the movie.
Thank you for choosing for me, Gio.
Well, I can't remember the movie, but I'm super in. I thought this movie was hilarious. I wanted to watch this regardless. I almost watched it the weekend before because I think that's when it came out, right? And I didn't think it was gonna be great. but I honestly didn't think I was gonna laugh as much as I did. Sure, this isn't gonna win an Oscar, and like, okay, maybe don't pay $20. Wait till it goes to regular streaming, till it's included in your Amazon. But I thought it was really funny, and I thought the jokes, like anything they start at the beginning, like it has a payoff at the end, like every joke. So I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, you didn't need that for a movie like this. It's so silly. But just the fact that it did have that, like I thought it was hilarious. It also, maybe this is why I like it so much, but it reminded me of SpongeBob. Like it's so stupid. Like,
It's like a live.
It's colorful.
yeah,
It's as
like a
colorful
live
as SpongeBob.
cartoon. Yeah. So yeah, I'm super duper in. Robert, what did you think?
I have like an interesting story of how I watched this movie, so I'm gonna save my rating until the end.
Was it WandaVision style?
Well, let me just say, like, I had seen one trailer for this, and like I saw that it was kind of like goofy. I was like, all right, so it's like Kristen Wiig and her writing partner doing their thing again, right? I didn't expect this to be like Austin Powers level like goofiness,
Yeah.
This like over the top villain, like wants to take over the world. So I actually was surprised. I was like, oh, like this is like, it kind of elevated the movie for me. Like I was like, oh, we're in for something kind of special, right? And then the two characters, Barb and Star, I thought they were, a little banter between them. I thought it was really funny. I love the color. It seemed very happy, like a happy time, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like a cross. I would say like it's a cross between like Austin Powers and like Dumb and Dumber, right? Where like these two dumb characters just kind of like fall into a plot that they didn't know that's like really big, and they end up like whatever. But one thing I was like, I felt like I should have been laughing more than I was. I think to a point that Gino brought up is I don't think it's worth the $20 on VOD. However, I do think it would be worth $20 going to a theater, watching it with a bunch of people.
Right.
Yeah.
Because everybody would be sewing on the jokes. All the payoffs that you mentioned would be even more satisfying. So I think this movie would really, really benefit from watching it with a group who's like all into it. So I did miss that aspect. So I was like, how do I enhance this? Right? Like, how do I enhance this like feeling of no drugs
in a mirror?
So
No, he pulled up that what was the drink that they had?
my sister recently got me some chocolate edibles, right? And I had them, so I was like, my God, if there has ever been a more perfect time, right? So I paused the movie about like midway through, right? I ate it. I waited 2 hours for the shit to kick in. Like it was like waiting, and then once it kind of started, I was like, fuck, let me get the remote and hit play, right? So like then like, but I gotta say, like I know this is veering off like from the movie, but that shit fucked me up like really bad.
It backfired.
I was fucking like a fucking rock, just like chained to the fucking couch. I was like, but my brain was still working at full speed, so I was able to process the rest of the movie.
Okay.
Like I got what was going on. It just seemed very long, and like it didn't really make it funnier, as I was expecting. I was laughing at my situation more than the movie, but I still enjoyed the movie overall. So I'm gonna have to go with an in.
Okay.
Because I think watching this with the crowd, I would have loved it probably like a lot more. We could talk about details later, but yeah, I just wanted to tell you my experience watching it.
I mean, that's definitely a good point. That like it's, do I want to pay $20? Not really, especially because especially like the mixed reaction that we kind of have. Yeah. Everyone sort of kind of liked it, but like, ew.
Not worth that much.
Yeah. So it definitely, and I think the reason again that he liked it as much is because I was laughing my ass off, and so we had a mini audience right here, somebody to share that laugh with,
From the beginning.
So yeah.
You know how like it starts with the Asian kid, right?
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny right there, but then like they showed them for the first time, and they're just in this couch and then like listening to the music. We couldn't stop laughing, dude.
This is
ridiculous.
That little reveal to where they show them working at the store
was so good.
It was so perfectly timed. Like I was like, I was like, this is gonna be really funny.
Yeah. The two characters, I think they're pretty well like they're actual characters, there isn't a place in the script where they kind of like drop who they are, or they do something where you're like, oh, they wouldn't do that, you know. So I think they were pretty well thought out, and they stuck to it. I think the writing's pretty good. I think
That's what I said.
Like it is a very. I mean, the two writers were nominated for an Academy Award for Bridesmaids, so they know like you know the script is very like you could say it's goofy and all that, but you still have to be good, right? You still have to succeed at what you're doing, and I think it does. What was I gonna say? This movie, I think it's destined to be like a cult classic, kind of like like a movie like Step Brothers, a movie that was so stupid when you watch it in theaters, like what the fuck? But now it's like you just constantly reference it, And I think this is, it's a shame that it came out during this time, but I think it really would have hit like a thing, like it really would have clicked with audiences, I think.
For sure.
It would have reached like maybe a broader audience or something.
Yeah.
Even though anybody can watch it, but I think
it would have
going
been
to the theater.
Yeah, it would have been that word of mouth type of thing,
Yeah.
Because like this movie, like I only seen one trailer, I didn't really know anything about it, It's one of those movies that people talk about and recommend, and it would grow over time,
Dude, I think I don't know. I just love the relationship that the two that Barb and Star had together. Like it was so fucking funny. Like you would believe that they're real people, they're real friends,
And we also haven't mentioned that this movie's also kind of a musical too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot.
Another layer to it.
Or any of you guys like turned off by that? Because it's like pretty similar to the movie. No, you guys were into it?
I'm the guy. Yeah, I'm the guy who loves cats. So I mean, I'm not gonna get turned off by music.
Yeah, I'm like.
That was Robert, just like
the little necklace or what?
Yeah.
Actually,
like I said before, last time I was watching Jesus Christ Superstar because it was on TV.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The first scene that I watched when I became intoxicated was when the guy breaks into song like on the beach.
You're like, what is this happening?
No, you were probably analyzing it like, oh, okay. So is this type of movie? All right. Not even laughing. We're just like figuring it out.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
It's so funny.
I feel like we kind of might have get Gio on the other side here. Does anything we're saying kind of like making, because you're already high. You're already high.
It was like I said, it was good and entertaining, but I think it was that kind of like around that kind of explanation that Gino kind of gave. Like, was it worth it for that? Like, it's a fun movie. Like, I never said it was a bad movie. I said it was
forget about the price that we paid. Like, judge it as a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah.
Like, it is a fun time. Like, I think I would watch it again. And I think that's enough to probably get me over the line. Fine, I'll give it the end. Begrudgingly, I'll give it an You're like, I'll take it.
So I guess if you feel like your life needs to be bidet, there it is, this movie.
if you feel like you're missing your shimmer.
Just give it a little spark. Hey, you're right, because I was gonna recommend it to like my cousins and stuff, but I wasn't sure. No, yeah.
I mean, maybe because they're like you and they think it's a girl comedy. Maybe they won't like it. So
no, they'll love it. They'll love it.
And you don't need to be high to watch it either.
Oh, that's true. So I wasn't high.
Yeah.
But
so through our experimenting, we've found out that you can watch this movie without high.
We proved it scientifically.
And you don't have to be a female. Yeah. And even as a guy, you'll like this because it's a comedy.
You guys were the control. I was the experimental group.
I can't believe you're here.
Well, I live here in Paris.
I wanted to talk to you for so long, then now...
Me too. How long do we have? 20 minutes and 30 seconds?
No,
Let's go.
No, we got more than that. Oh, God, why don't we exchange phone numbers and stuff? Why didn't we do that?
Past is the past. It was meant to be that way.
What? You really believe that? I have these dreams. I'm in the car, and a buddy of mine is driving me downtown, and I'm staring out the window, and I think I see you.
What does it mean, the right man? The love of your life? The concept is absurd. The idea that we can only be complete with another person is evil, right?
I'm just happy to see you, even if you've become an angry, manic-depressive activist. I still like you. I still enjoy being around you. Like if somebody were to touch me, I would dissolve into molecules.
I want to see if you stay together or if you dissolve into molecules.
What am I doing?
Moving on to the next movie, which is our old movie. Robert, what was your pick? And before I continue, before you start talking about why did you pick this movie? I just want to know why. Like what? Because I'm really interested. After watching it, I want to know why you picked
Yeah,
it.
Robert. Who hurt you?
Damn, they seem aggressive. I don't know.
So my pick this week is called Before Sunset, and it's directed by Richard Linklater, and it's written by Richard Linklater, Ethan Hawke, and Julie Delpy. Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke also the stars of the film.
Right.
And in case you didn't know, this movie is a sequel to Before Sunrise. And in case you haven't seen Before Sunrise, it's a movie about two people, Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, who meet on a train in Vienna. They kind of hit it off, and they spend the whole day with each other and a night with each other. So they kind of like fall for each other in one night. And the movie ends with them saying, okay, we're going to separate, but we're going to meet here in Vienna in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it ends. It's kind of ambiguous, right?
Right.
So they made a sequel to that movie 9 years after. And in the sequel, 9 years have passed since the last time that the characters met. And in this one, it's about Ethan Hawke's character who wrote a book about that night and is out promoting it, right? And so he's in France, and Julie Delpy's character, Celine, shows up. And that's the first time they've seen each other in 9 years.
Whoa, you're already crying.
So yeah, so they see each other and they meet and they start talking, and the whole movie is just them walking, talking, and kind of reconnecting, rediscovering that bond that they once had 9 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I choose this movie?
Yeah.
Because it was February. February is the month of Valentine's Day. You know, it's about romance and all that, love. So I wanted to be in that theme. And to me, Before Sunset is the most, like, in terms of romantic movie, I think it's the best one I've ever seen. You know, I don't want to get too cheesy, but I
love cheese.
I do believe in love, you know, and I think
Most romantic.
yeah, without love, I think life is meaningless. And I understand that everybody has a different meaning of what love is, but this movie happens to be what I feel like. It captures what I feel that love is. So that's why I love it. It's like I can't get enough of it. And aside from that, I think it's a really great film. Like we talked about it when we watched what is that? Malcolm and Marie. Just a movie about two people talking, right?
Yeah.
And like that one was kind of mediocre. I think this is a great one, right? Like
Yeah.
it's just the chemistry between the two characters is so good. Like I hadn't seen it in years. Like, and when I put it on, like I couldn't help but smile because it was like I was like it's like reconnecting with friends, you know, like you haven't seen in a long time, you know, like it was just so like heartwarming. And I just love it's my favorite. There's 3 movies in this series, and it's my favorite out of the 3 because I think it's the one with like the most stakes in it, you know.
Yeah.
But we'll get into details later. Okay, let me tell this quick story before I before I go. So this movie was introduced to me by my older brother Mike, who listens to this show, right? And
Hi,
he
Mike.
suggested that we pick it. So let me tell you a little bit about Mike. He's the oldest of 4 kids, right? He's the oldest in my family. He didn't speak English until he was like 9. Like he struggled in school, right? But his lifelong dream was to become a pilot. And he got his pilot's license while he was still a teenager.
Oh, that's fun.
Nice.
He went to a university called Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, which if you don't know, that's like it's like getting into USC. Imagine like the firstborn son of immigrants who didn't speak English until he was like 9, getting all by himself, getting into that university. He then became a pilot and then became a captain for an airline called American Eagle, right? And then he got hired by one of the biggest airlines in the world, American Airlines, which he's working now. It's a pretty accomplished life, right?
Yeah.
But to me, his biggest achievement in life is discovering these movies and then recommending them to me. Because if it wasn't for him, I would have never watched it. Like all that other shit he did in his life, I could give a fuck. Like he could end world hunger. To me, like it peaked with him watching them, telling, "Hey, watch these movies. You might like them." You know,
I was feeling so inspired, and I was like, this guy found the love of his life while he was like flying a plane to somewhere else, and he has a similar story.
No,
Yeah.
he loves this just as much as I do. Like I bought him the screenplay, the shooting script that they use on set. I bought him a copy and I gave it to him. Like he loves these movies, yeah. But
How
yeah,
fun.
I just wanted to think of it. That was funny. Fuck you, Mike. So I want to start. Like, can I see a raise of hands of who hadn't seen the movie before?
Me.
All right, so let's start.
Oh, yeah, you have.
Yeah, America, what'd you think? Because you get the female perspective. Because it's pretty interesting to hear both sides.
He was like, "Oh, it's supposed to be me." I'll pick you
the
after.
other ones.
I want to
Oh,
start with
pick
somebody
them
who
now.
hadn't seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't seen this, and I did
Yeah.
watch the first one, kind of to prep myself for this one. I'm so glad I did. It was really interesting, and it definitely is one of those talking movies. So if you're not into that, don't watch it. You're gonna hate it. But I thought it was so good. It was so nice. It wasn't even like super heavy or anything, which what you would expect of like a romance movie that isn't like a rom-com. So it's so enjoyable. I thought it was like pretty lighthearted, although they do go into kind of like, it does get into a little more like deep, like coupley type things. Like, what do you think about life type things? But it doesn't get too like jaded or anything.
That's super philosophical.
Yeah. And then so the second one, I super loved it. But I did feel a little betrayed. It's so funny. I loved, well, whatever. I'm not gonna give my whole review right now, I guess, to have other people to talk to. What did you think?
No, them.
Oh, them? Okay. Gino, what did you think?
I will say this: if I had to watch, I had to bust America. I had to watch before sunset first, before sunrise. First, wait, sunrise,
Yeah,
right? The first
sunrise.
one.
Is sunrise.
Yeah, before watching before sunset. If I would have watched before sunset before watching the first one, I would have for sure been delete, for sure, because that's exactly how I would feel about Malcolm and Marie. A couple talking, and I'm just bored out of my fucking mind. But I did watch the first movie, and I enjoyed that one, and I actually enjoyed this one, so I'm in. What I want to say is, you can tell they changed from those two movies, because I watched it back to back, and and that's what I love. And I will be honest, that's what I love about this movie, just because their perspectives changed from those 9 years, and they actually went with it, and I liked it. Yeah, so I feel like it was like a closure feeling movie for me than a romantic movie. It was like, did they go back and see each other? Did this happen? And then this kind of gave me like closure of like things I was asking myself before I pressed play on that movie after watching Before Sunrise. So I was like, ugh. But I am, and then we'll get into it more. Gio. No, Ricardo. No, Gio. Yeah, you haven't seen, huh? Yeah, Gio.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. So I did the same thing. I watched Before Sunrise, to kind of, because I was like, this is a sequel to a movie, so I was like, let me get some backstory, whatever. I think you do need to watch Before Sunrise before watching this one.
Yep.
With that being said, I'm an in as well. However, I will say I did like Before Sunrise more than I did Before Sunset. And it's seeing that it's a trilogy, this one does feel bridgy. Yeah. Like where the first one, it does kind of, if you're a hopeless romantic, like I'll put myself in that box, Robert, as well with you. Yeah, like that first one, it's just like you kind of are like really rooting for them and stuff, and you're just really invested in their whole adventure as just two random strangers meeting on a train, spending a night in Vienna just because they can.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like this one, yeah, you see how they've changed over time. Like I did pick some of that stuff up as well. I guess we'll talk about it a little bit more, but yeah, I'm an in, not as much as I did the first one, but I'm an in still. Ricardo.
You put that in there or what?
Yes.
So yeah, this movie, I seen it before, but like I haven't seen it in a while. And like this type of movie, I love dialogue. I love it. So like you could close your eyes, listen to it like if it's a fucking podcast. Like you just listen to their conversations and you're walking with them. And it's great. It's great conversation, you know, and it's so realistic. I saw the first one with her, you know, recently too. Like so I could like remember and everything. But you don't need the first one. You saw the beginning of the second one. They explain everything. They show footage of the first one too. And it's cool, like enough, but I guess you wanna love the characters more. So you do watch the first one, right? You get to know the characters and walk with them. But overall, like, dude, come on. The new one, what's it called? Malcolm and Marie?
Yeah.
Dude, come on. Compare like this mediocreness to this. Like, come on.
Which one is which?
This is great writing and I like obviously I have a girlfriend. But like, you know, like like imagine meeting America in a different country and being like, whoa, you want to kick it? And like, we have this thing. And I honestly, like, I wanted to make a short film out of like a fucking movie like this. Cause I saw it and I was like, oh, this is simple. And like, I remember thinking like, oh, and I said that like, oh, that's what the movie was going to be called. You want to kick it? And then it was just like, you're kicking it with the girl. And then the movie was going to be with a girl and the guy. And then you just follow them through a montage because it's a short film.
I had
It'd be the Chicano version.
I know that. But
Carlo, you guys saw I ripped this movie off like in one of my short films.
Yes. I actually told that to America.
Yeah.
Because we were gonna watch it, and I was like, "Hey, you know what? This guy working in this short. I know what he's doing." But yeah, I'm an in, by the way. So yeah.
You don't say. I didn't notice that.
You know what?
Like you said, you guys were saying like you don't need to watch the movie, or you do. You don't need to watch it because obviously they do give you the context in the second movie. But if you want to be attached to these characters, you want to be invested, you should watch the first movie. And it's not a bad movie, so watch the first one.
But that's why I said I would have been a delete if I would watch it straight on, because I would not understand. Even though they explained it to me, I'm still gonna be like, so do I give a fuck?
Yeah.
No, I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Ricardo. I had to disagree with you on that one.
Yeah.
But I would say, can I say one thing before we continue?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Is it me or does Ethan Hawke look like more shit in this movie than he did in the first one? Because he looked fucking handsome as hell in the first one.
Yeah.
This movie,
He looks like anorexic in this one.
I was watching it and I pressed play and he's like, yeah, I'm a writer now. And I'm like, you look like shit, bro. What the fuck?
But I mean, like even like if you want to like dive a little bit deep, he's a really unhappy person, right?
Like has to look like shit.
Yeah, I mean that because they're not showing you their lives, or you have to infer from just looking at them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, maybe it was planned, maybe it was not. I don't know. But it was funny. Like the reason I asked about the female perspective is because I mentioned my brother again.
Yeah.
His wife fucking hates these movies. Like she can't stand, like he loves. We always talk about it every time. Like she's like, "Oh, here we go again with this." But like speaking on like the first one, like it really shows like whether you like which one you choose. You know, kind of says like a lot about you. You know, because like the first one is very hopeful. You know, it's all about the love and all that, and everything is ahead of you, right? Like you think like, wow, this is love, yes, but like I'm gonna experience this more and more times, you know. Like this one is a little bit like the cynicism starts creeping in, right?
Yeah.
It's like maybe, you know, it's not guaranteed that you're gonna find love, right?
Yeah.
And they already seen that, right?
Yeah.
So that's why it's like I love that. You know, these movies about people just talking, it's all about the subtext, right?
Yeah.
And you know, right from the beginning, the subtext of this movie is, are we gonna get back together, right?
Yeah.
And that's through all the conversations they have, whether it's about like the environment or like their lives and all that, you know what's driving them. It's like, are we gonna get back together? And that's in every single scene. Like, and watching it this time, like I never noticed, like I never bothered to look at his hand that he had a wedding ring on.
Oh no shit!
You know?
I
and like
and
then like I noticed it this time, and he's messing with it the whole time. Like that's like great character work, you know?
Yeah. Going back to like the female perspective thing, I totally understand where your brother's wife hates this movie, because it's one of those movies where, especially because he's married, and marriage doesn't get brought up until like maybe the last 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. It's about like a third
or like halfway. I don't know. It seemed like way too long into the meeting. that he mentioned, or she asks,
Mhm.
he wasn't gonna bring it up if she didn't ask. You know, so I understand. Like, it's kind of, and this isn't necessarily even female perspective, but it's just, you kind of just see like, this guy's a piece of shit. Like, you know, she comes to see him. Obviously, it's kind of like you met someone so many years ago, right? And you had a romantic evening, whatever. But you're just kind of like, oh my gosh, like they made it, you know, because the first time that they met each other, they kind of were nowhere. You know what I mean? And then you're like, I know this person, and you're just like, you're happy for them, right? Like, you, in a sense, consider them a friend, even though you didn't know each other for very long. But you just formed that bond, right? But then you see where he's at, and you see what he's telling you about his wife and all that. And then, but he's like, I'm gonna have to see you naked. I'm a this, I'm a that. Like, it always comes off as like, you know, I showed up, like you didn't. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, shut up.
Yeah.
Well, that's good,
You
right?
know, like I came here to support you. Like, don't.
Isn't that
You
good
know what I mean?
writing?
No, but like,
No, it's
like
good writing, but I can understand that somebody's not gonna like it because it's like, ugh.
Yeah, and I
You
and
again? You know?
I was gonna bring up the point, like watching it this time, he did seem like overly like kind of aggressive. Like he was like,
Yeah.
hey, let's go to fucking, you know. But I will say, like, it is interesting to see that this movie, I think, even though it's like about romance and all that, it is from the male perspective. Because this is based on actually Richard Linklater's life. Like he based it on something that happened to him. Like he met a girl and they just spent a day walking and talking, right? And that was it. And that kind of inspired the first one, right?
Yeah.
He never stopped thinking about her. And he wondered, like, maybe if I make this movie, the first one, Before Sunrise, like it could kind of like reconnect us somehow, you know? And he made it and nothing happened, right? But then obviously time went on. And he's like, okay, I'm going to make another one, you know, maybe like, you know, it'll happen again. They made this one. And then he comes to find out, like a friend of the girl that he spent time with, like found out that he was making movies about her essentially. And she reached out to Richard Linklater and let him know that she actually passed away right before they made the first movie. So, yeah.
Oh
so
my God.
It is very much from the male perspective. Like, cause he's Jesse, he's the one that has to like take that leap to because he's married, right? He has a kid. Essentially his life is going, right?
Yeah.
And her, she's still like dating people. Like she's free to do whatever she wants, right? He's the one who has to like fucking man up and like, am I gonna make a change, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it is from that perspective, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's funny because dude, this is perfect. Like the two movies are fucking perfect because the first one, he sets it up. He's like, you're going to be, you know, way down the line, you're going to look back and think like, I have a shitty marriage. You know, I'm stuck in this situation and I hate it. Like, I'm going to look back and romanticize this day, you know, and they both kind of did, but he now is in that future that he predicted. Right. And he's
locked into
trying
it.
so hard to like knock at that door. And she's telling him like, I also was there, you know, unfortunately circumstances wouldn't let me arrive at that, you know, train station that day, but I would have met you and I wish that I had, you know, but it's torturing me and I'm not willing to cross that line. So it is very much male perspective where he's like, let's just do this. Like, I'm going to stay here with you. Like, all you have to do is just say yes. You know what I mean? And it's like, you could do that if you wanted to, but like, she wants him to be a decent person, you know? Like she's not about to be like the homewrecker or something.
And that's like the whole time her like position in the movie is like what are you gonna do, right? Like this is like the ball's in your court essentially, right? Like I'm not gonna tell you to ruin your life. Like that's a decision that you have to make on your own, right? Because I'm not married, I don't have kids, you know. So like, and that's kind of like the game that they're playing like throughout the whole
time. No, she's like, oh, you're gonna miss your friend. And that's the last line. So so
I know.
Good.
Yeah, she's trying to keep him in line, like she wants to, like she keeps trying to push him back and like because she knows it's wrong or whatever, and she keeps trying to push him back, but he keeps fighting her.
Much.
Like it's a bit of a
that song at the end.
But like what another thing I love about this movie, and the reason why I say it's a great film, it's a perfectly paced movie. Like every time I watch it, it goes by so fast. Like they meet at the bookstore, they go have coffee, and all of a sudden, before you even know it, like the stakes are like fucking like here, you know, and you're like, oh my god, like this shit's going on. It's like it's so perfectly paced, and all the details like are like you don't even realize it's happening because all you're doing is like watching and talking, like watching these people just talk, right?
Yeah.
And it's so like, I don't know. I think it's great. It's great writing. Like, it's because you don't realize it, right? You don't realize what's going on. Like a person who doesn't like listen to like all the subtext and all this stuff like that, they could find it boring because like, oh, they're just talking, right? Why there's no substance here. There's no story, but like there really is. It's like a great story here. There's great like emotions running through it. It is like that car scene to me, that's as exciting as when Luke is in the trench, like about to blow up the Death Star. like to me, it's as exciting as that. You know what? I watch that every time.
Like I think we had hinted at like I think if we hadn't seen like the first one, like I hadn't seen the first one, I wouldn't have seen some of the growth of these characters.
Right.
Because like in the first one, there's a question about reincarnation. Like they talk about it and she says that she believes in reincarnation and stuff. And then in this movie, that topic of reincarnation comes up and she no longer believes in reincarnation. So you kind of get those little things that like over time, you know, they've changed, they've grown up, they've matured, you know, in certain ways, you know. Like even her character, I think,
and
you
they're
know,
32. Just saying.
I was gonna bring it like watching because like I said, I hadn't seen it in a few years. The first time I saw the first one, I was like 20 or something, right?
Yeah.
The characters in the movie were still older than me. So it's like, oh, you know, it's very hopeful. Like when you watch it, like, oh, like, you know, romance, you know, and all that. And then, you know, watching this movie now and they said like, oh, I'm 32. I was like, fuck.
That's so funny.
I was like, shit. It gave it a whole different perspective. I was like, God damn it.
That's hilarious.
So Robert, this is your number one, like I guess love story in a film.
Yeah, romantic movie. Yeah.
What about you guys? Because I disagree. I think it's Natural Born Killers.
Is it Shrek? Is Shrek the answer? Natural Born Killers?
Only love could be the demon. They're fucking crazy. The love stops it. I'm just saying.
I cannot say this movie would be one of my list of favorites, to be honest.
So what is?
51st Dates.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's a good one though. You can't.
It's that, or it's tied with The Wedding Singer. It's one of those. Either way, Adam
it's a Sandler movie.
The
Wedding Singer
are the greatest fucking movie couple in my entire fucking movie. All right, fuck you guys.
The wedding. No, I will say The Wedding Singer is great. I think that's a great movie. Yeah,
it's between the two. I don't know. I want to say 51st Dates, but I want to say Wedding Singer. It's just. It's like
I'll say
those
Wedding
two,
Singer.
you know.
Saying Wedding Singer's better.
Yeah, let's stick to Wedding Singer.
Okay, Wedding Singer. Fuck it. Do Wedding Singer.
No, Gio, I know which one's yours.
I think as an emo kid, I think it would be Garden State.
Oh shit! Okay.
Oh shit!
I don't know if I've seen that.
I know. No. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think I know what my one of my future picks will be then.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So I mean, like, there's a lot I wanted to say about this movie, but because it's a trilogy, it would kind of be like talking about the third film, too. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to hold that because I believe Ricardo's pick for next week is Before Midnight, right?
Before Midnight is coming up.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah.
Let's see where these guys are going. What happened to them 9 years later? Let's see.
If it feels like we didn't say a lot about this movie, it's because I was holding a lot of stuff in because I think we get to see where they are. I have more stories about my brother too, so it's coming.
Oh,
This one better not trick me. Like this has to be a good story.
Hey, I have not seen this one, so like I'm excited.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Please don't forget to follow us on Instagram @InOutDelete Reviews, Twitter @InOutDelete, YouTube @InOutDelete, and of course our podpage.com/InOutDelete. Please go there, check them out. Check out the website too as well, because you know we have our biography of our lives.
Let's give a clap to Gio for all this. Come on, Gio. Oh my god.
For setting all that up.
MVP.
He's making us look professional.
Yeah.
Exactly.
As you could tell if you listen or watch every week, we're clearly not.
Especially if you're watching on YouTube.
Good night.
Bye.
Late.